Hello, welcome to this presentation replay, I guess, of a talk I gave at the BIMA conference on the 29th of June 2022. For these kinds of presentations, I tend to start with a story, so just indulge me for a minute while we get into that story and then we can start the presentation, but it kind of sets the context for what we want to talk about. In 2013, Facebook decided it wanted some of that video dollar and started to roll out videos on its platform, the Facebook product that we know and use today. The following year, in 2014, Facebook, and you may remember this, Facebook turned on autoplay video in feed and with the sound on as well. Back then that was horrendous and everybody hated it and it murdered everybody's data and it was so bad, bleh, awful. That same year, Facebook very quietly also algorithmically demoted any YouTube links appearing in feed. It was really pushing hard to make video a thing. So much so, in 2015, when the views were going crazy, publishers and media owners everywhere got rid of writers and journalists in their hundreds upon hundreds. People were made redundant left, right and centre because suddenly there was this huge pivot to video. People demanded video, the views were massive, and so of course people lost their jobs. In 2016, I think it was in a blog post or something, Facebook revealed that it had accidentally artificially inflated the view count on some of its videos by up to 80%. People weren't happy. So 2 years later, when a class action lawsuit was brought against the company in California, unsealed documents actually uncovered the fact that not only did Facebook know about it a year before 2016, but also it wasn't 80%. It was somewhere between 150% and 900%. It took 5 years. But within that 5 years, video became a thing on Facebook. Native video uploading became a thing. Hundreds upon hundreds of people lost their jobs. And yet it all became to be known as the pivot to video. You can look that up on Wikipedia. These aren't top secret things. But the key thing to know is that that pivot to video was built on lies. So, hello, wherever you are watching this, my name is James Whatley. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer at Diva. We're a gaming native creative agency. And I'm here to talk to you about the Metaverse. The Metaverse. The Metaverse. We've all heard about the Metaverse, right? Everybody knows about it. It's in every trade. Sometimes it's in the out of home. Sometimes it's in the nationals. But this is just some headlines from the end of June. Meta launches MetaPay, a Metaverse dedicated digital wallet. Inside the Metaverse strategy of L'Oreal and LVMH, honestly. Paris Hilton, who else? On the Metaverse, NFTs, Web3 and more. I love this one. Only 16% only 16% of people understand what the Metaverse is. And then over here, we've got Duolingo invades the Metaverse. I mean, and now is the time to plan for the Metaverse. Oh my God. If you're a client or if you're an agency and you're kind of looking at this going, I don't know what this is and it's keeping me up at night, don't worry. I'm here to help you and equip you with the tools to ask better questions of people trying to sell you Metaverse strategies, tactics, activation. Because the thing you need to know, and here's the context, right? So hang on one second. Anyone who stands on this stage and tells you the Metaverse is the future hasn't got a fucking clue, and you should not be okay with that. This is the slide I presented at Ministry for BIMA Beyond. Because that day, one person had stood on the stage and said, I'm going to make 40 million quid from the Metaverse this year. Sir Martin Sorrell, 2 hours before me. That was a gamble. Didn't know he was going to do that, so that's fun. Apparently he said, working from home is going to be transformed by the Metaverse. VR is going to change working from home. We've just come out of 2 years where we all had lockdown and had to communicate via Zoom for 8 hours every day minimum. And how much do we all love that? Doing the same again, but with the screen kind of strapped to your face here, I can't really see that being a thing. The other thing he said was, we're training pilots right now in VR. That's how they train pilots. That's not the Metaverse, my dude. That's literally just using VR to train people how to fly planes. You can't just backfill the word metaverse onto stuff because it suits your commercial narrative. Immensely frustrating. This slide caused applause in the room. This slide has gone viral on LinkedIn. This slide is why I'm doing this presentation for you today. This is slide 3 of 63. There's a lot more to come, but this is important. I want you to be able to say, excuse me, I don't know what you're talking about when you say metaverse. Can you prove that it exists? Can you take me there? Do you mean gaming? These are all questions, better questions I'm aiming to equip you with. Because fundamentally, the metaverse does not exist. You don't need to take my word for this. This is a public policy briefing from the University of Cambridge. Let me move me over there. From a public policy briefing from the University of Cambridge, written by Sam Gilbert. Sam Gilbert is a great voice on this. You can find him on Twitter. This is his first document he wrote about it. He's since written another one specifically about the metaverse. But in this one, he pulls this out, which I think is very interesting. He says, let me move me again. It's important to note that the metaverse does not yet exist. Mark Zuckerberg's presentation on the metaverse at the 2021 Connect conference and the rebranding of Facebook to Meta have encouraged commentators to describe existing VR applications, including those available through Meta's Oculus headsets, as manifestations of the metaverse. This is incorrect, as such applications are neither persistent because they reset when users quit them, nor interoperable, a key principle, by the way, of the metaverse, because they are siloed and it is not possible to move seamlessly between them. So unlike the other concepts and technologies described in this paper, the metaverse can only be discussed in terms of its potential. I say again, it's quite simple. The metaverse does not exist. There's so much misinformation out there, I find it upsetting, and we should call it out when we see it. Here's a good example I saw a few months ago. Sweathead, love Sweathead. It's a great community of strategists all over the world saying, excuse me, I've got a question, can anybody help? What about this? What about that? What about this? Really like it. Good way to meet amazing strategists. This question appeared, hey Sweathead gang, looking for examples of brands stepping into the metaverse, especially brands like Nike with their Nikeland case, mixing their virtual brand experience into retail spaces. I would call that just a good digital activation. I also replied to this and said, can we just get a bit of clarity by what you mean when you say the metaverse? Reason being, lots of different people have lots of different definitions. Sam Gilbert, who I mentioned about the public policy briefing, he has found over 30 different definitions of the metaverse in academia alone. That sweary slide at the top, when that went viral on LinkedIn, the 200 odd comments underneath it, go diving in there, and I'll stick a link to that underneath this film on the Diva website. Go stick your head in there and you'll see everyone else has got their own definition. So it's fairly loose, right? It's fairly loose. Anyway, the correct response to this is, what do you mean by metaverse? Not responding, as someone did, with this, which is, here are all the examples that I'm aware of. And honestly, and again, I'm going to move me out of the way a little bit here just so you can read them all. I'm not going to read them all to you. I think it's embarrassing. Gucci in Roblox is not the metaverse. Sotheby's in Decentraland, and we will come back to Decentraland, is not the metaverse. The Smurfs in Sandbox, Wendy's in Fortnite, DC in Fortnite, and my absolute goddamn favourite, Selena Gomez in Animal Crossing. It is not the metaverse. It isn't. It's just Selena Gomez playing Animal Crossing and turning up on your island, or going for an interview with somebody who's making a TV show on Animal Crossing, because that's stuff that happens in video games. You can tell I get angry about this. It's just frustrating. Let's go through it one by one, okay? Roblox is not the metaverse. And the example that always gets wheeled out is, of course, our friend Nike. This is Nike in Roblox. Nikeland. It is not Web3. There are no NFTs. It is not decentralized. There's no cryptocurrencies here. It is just a video game. And don't get me wrong, Nike has seen huge success because it's Nike we're talking about. Huge success. Had 7 million people go and visit this already. 7 million people that play Roblox have been to see Nikeland. That's a big deal, and we should come back to that in a bit. What else can I tell you? Fortnite, guess what? Not the metaverse. This is Travis Scott, arguably where it all began. Players, for the first time in, I would say, modern gaming times, stop playing and enjoy the entertainment value of a shared online experience in a virtual world. This is great, right? You look at that and go, I can really see the draw of Fortnite players going in and watching this amazing gig. Fantastic. On a good day with the wind behind me, I might even refer to this as a metaversal activity. But it ain't the metaverse. What do I mean by metaversal activity? Well, that's basically something you're doing in a game or a social 3D online space that isn't gaming. So you could be socializing, you could be enjoying a piece of entertainment, you could be going to a gig, you could be watching a Star Wars trailer. That also happened in Fortnite. It was a pretty bad experience. Nobody talks about it. But that you would call metaversal experience. A metaversal activity. It's kind of a shared social experience. Okay? Okay. Blame Travis Scott, basically. Decentraland is not the metaverse. Bear with me on this. You've got to give credit where credit is due. Someone managed to convince JP Morgan that they needed to build their bank in the metaverse. Someone walked in there and said, excuse me, hi, I think we'll need to build your HQ or version of your bank in Decentraland. Please pay me to do that. And JP Morgan went, okay, here's a big bag of cash. Off you go. And they did it. But I genuinely have no idea who this is for, why they did it, and what was the purpose. And I tell you why, because one, again, Decentraland, not the metaverse. It's just a 3D online space where literally nothing happens. The daily active user numbers on this in April 2022 was 978. There's not a K missing off that number. It's not 978,000. It's literally 978 people were active every day in Decentraland in the month of April 2022. This is really going to bake your noodle. Second Life, on the same month, their daily active users was 200,000. Poor old Second Life, right? The OG metaverse, and nobody gives a flying monkeys because it's not cool. It's not decentralized. It's not like one of the things that everyone's doing. Well, why would you not go and do it there? I mean, everybody knows and remembers the amazing brand activations from Second Life, right? Minecraft. This is not the metaverse. This sometimes gets wheeled out, and I've been playing Minecraft for years with my children, building spaceships, building castles, building theatres, building secret caves. Anybody watching this who's ever played Minecraft knows what I'm talking about. And brands have done amazing things in Minecraft, building huge versions of their stadiums for football teams so that people can go and explore and play in because that's what they want to do. It's not the metaverse. It's just Minecraft. Somebody told me that Nintendo and Minecraft, Mario appearing in Minecraft, was a really good example of the metaverse. And I was like, no, Minecraft came out on Nintendo, and so they just did like a character thing. That's what happens when games come out on platforms. They sometimes have exclusive character things. That's what happens in games. Animal Crossing is not the metaverse. Now look, we're going to spend a bit of time in Animal Crossing because I think it's a great game, and I understand why people don't really understand it, because it's a socializing game. The kind of the purpose is to live a life with your animals, and like it's a life sim, but it's cutesy and beautiful. But brands have done amazing things in Animal Crossing already. So KFC, they opened KFC Island, and you could play hide and seek with the Colonel, which is a silly thing to do in Animal Crossing, and he to me it says KFC understood the culture of Animal Crossing players, right? Brilliant. Same with IKEA. IKEA basically rebuilt their catalogue in Animal Crossing, which I think is a great idea. Fantastic. It just looks nice. They found the stuff in Animal Crossing that looks like the stuff in the catalogue, and then they put it live because it was on trend. And if you're unfamiliar, when I say on trend, Animal Crossing came out the month after the whole world went into lockdown for the pandemic. Animal Crossing is consistently recognised as a game that's good for your mental health because it's just a joy to play. It calms you down, it slows you down, and the aim of the game is happiness and to keep everyone happy and to enjoy like gardening and so on. This game could not have come out at a better time, but it is just a game. My other example on this slide is Hellman's Island. And this, again, tapped into something that happens in the game, which is, without getting into too much detail, if you're an Animal Crossing fan, you know what I'm about to say. Every Sunday morning in the game, you can buy turnips from the stalk market, not stock market. Get it? This is this game. And you try and trade them throughout the week. But if you don't sell them by the following Sunday, they spoil. What Hellman's did was say, bring your spoilt turnips to us, donate them to us, and we'll turn it into real food for people in need. Brand purpose, brand activation, video game, bang on trend. Really, really nice way of going, let's just do something cool in that space because we can. And it ain't the metaverse. Finally, in this section, just because you do something, anything to do with NFTs does not make that the sodding metaverse either. Okay? It doesn't. Here's a couple of examples. Now, look, I don't know where you land on NFTs. You may land in the same place as I do, which is it's an ecologically irresponsible cash grab. Or you may think they're the best things since sliced bread. Irrespective, it's not the metaverse. Mr. Bean is taking his first steps into the metaverse because he's made some NFTs. No, this is incorrect. It's not true. Just stop. On the left of the screen, Gucci. This is a screen grab from the US Patent and Trademark Office of a recent trademark application for trademarking the Gucci brand for virtual goods and NFTs and 3D spaces. It's a smart way of trademarking your logo. This was reported as Gucci has filed to trademark its logo in the metaverse with the USPTO. It's not the metaverse. I know it's not the metaverse because I went to the USPTO's website, I looked for the Gucci filing, I found the Gucci filing, a little control F, and there's not a single mention of metaverse there. Now, don't get me wrong, there are lots of stuff in there that looks like things we may need should we one day be in the metaverse, but it ain't today. This is just a brand looking after its brand. It's very smart, and other brands should be looking to do the same, but it's not the metaverse. Okay, a breath now, right? We've had a bit of a rant. I think it's cool. We're kind of like, if we agree at this stage, the metaverse does not exist, and you can not agree, that's okay, I don't mind. I mean, you're wrong, but I don't mind. If we agree that the metaverse doesn't exist, what are people talking about when they talk about the metaverse? It's an important question. And again, it's the question I want you to take away. When somebody says, oh, we're doing this in the metaverse, you can go, what are you actually talking about? What does that mean? And fortunately for us, we've got a really good live example. This happened literally in the past couple of weeks. And it's one of those headlines that keeps being rolled out. And again, this is not top secret information. I've not gone on some like forensic detective, major looking for clues kind of hunt for the information. It's just publicly available, and we're going to step through it now. Here we go. Now, you may have seen this headline or something similar around this number appear in the past few weeks. Wall Street Journal reporting that metaverse spending is to total $5 trillion in 2030. McKinsey predicts. 79% of survey respondents said that they have already made a purchase in the metaverse. Now, we've just agreed, I think, that the metaverse doesn't exist. So we'll come back to that one. But I want to know, what the hell is metaverse spending? What is that? What is this? What is metaverse spending? I genuinely have no idea. So the only way to do that is to go and look in the article. Because it says, right, McKinsey released its new estimates, did a survey, 3,000 people, right. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. How nice. For the purposes of its study, however, McKinsey defined the metaverse as primarily online platforms and experiences that don't solely occur in virtual reality or require interoperability between virtual worlds. I mean, are you for real? That to me is just a lot of words that says online. define the metaverse as being online, so online platforms, so all online platforms and experiences that are online, that aren't in VR, and you can't be interoperable. Okay, so online spending to total 5 trillion in 2030, McKinsey predicts. Yeah, I could probably believe that. So that's fine. We just rewrite that headline. Great. The data's in the below the head. You just need to scroll. Damn it. What else have we got? Let's look at this. 79% of survey respondents said that they have already made a purchase in the metaverse. 79% is massive. I should have put myself there. There we go. 79%. That's huge. We should totally go and check that out, because you can't, like, that's, if I look at that, if I'm a brand looking at that, I'm going to go, well, there's loads of people spending money in the metaverse. I should immediately go and invest it. It's almost like that's the trick. So I went to check it out. It wasn't in the Wall Street Journal article. It was on the McKinsey homepage. There it is over there. You can see it. Number 2, value creation in the metaverse. I gave that a cheeky little click. And value creation in the metaverse. Creation, I think, is saying the quiet part out loud. It wasn't on the website or the landing page for this, but it was on the PDF. All 77 pages of the PDF. You're welcome, by the way. I've read the whole thing. And once you get into this PDF, you can find where that number comes from. About 79% of consumers active on the metaverse have made a purchase mainly to enhance their online experience. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. In-game purchases, 47. Improve my in-game experience, 56. Gain benefit in games, 27. Virtual cosmetic items, hello Fortnite skins, 37. They're talking about gaming. That's literally what they're doing. They're talking about gaming. I don't really know what else to say when I look at that. Well, I do actually. Here it is. We'll rewrite the headline. Online spending to total $5 trillion in 2030, McKinsey predicts. 79% of survey respondents said they have made a purchase in a game. That's fair, right? I mean, it's not like I'm not twisting data. I'm using the information available to show you what that headline actually says with the information supplied. I've just read it versus just skimmed the top and accepted a PR release at face value. The gaming part is important. The fact that it's important, we'll get into, because it kind of doesn't matter, right? I might get crucified for this. It kind of doesn't matter what you call it. You can call it the metaverse if you like, right? And we won't get on, but you can call it the metaverse, but I don't really care. The point is, whether you're building your brand activation in Roblox, it doesn't matter if you're building a gig or an entertainment experience in Fortnite. It doesn't matter if you want to do something cute with brand purpose in Animal Crossing, and it doesn't matter if you want to build your head office in Minecraft. It doesn't matter what you're doing. The important part to know is that the people you're talking to are the people who are already there. And the people who are already there are players. Players of games. Gamers. They're the people who are already in those spaces where you're building. Millions of people didn't leap on Fortnite just because Travis Scott showed up once. Fortnite is huge. 30 million daily active users. That's 30 million people are playing Fortnite today. Nobody downloaded Roblox just to visit Nightland, right? I've done the Gucci experience. I've been to Nightland. It's cool. I've already had Roblox installed. And nobody is downloading Decentraland. I mean, like at all. It's kind of embarrassing, really. The thing you need to take out of this is that these brand activations that happen in these spaces where people actually are going are for those people that have downloaded those platforms already, right? People who have downloaded these platforms already. And it doesn't matter what you call them. You can call them hardcore gamers. You can call them casual gamers. You can call them people that play games. But they are gamers. They're the people that are already there playing Fortnite. I'm going to look over here and look at Travis Scott instead. I'm in Roblox. I'm going to go over there and go to Nightland instead. People were playing those games. And the other thing to know about these people is that you can't really bung them all into a generational cohort, because they're all of us. All walks of life. Every generation. You can't say, wow, I'm going to do something in Roblox because, that's really Gen Z. Or I'm going to do something, I won't do Fortnite because, people over 40 don't play Fortnite. This is European data, right? It's cohort wide. It's about understanding mentality. And by the way, they're not all spotty young boys sat in their bedrooms in their pants playing up till midnight. No, there is a good gender split across all gamers, across all of Europe. Understand who you're talking to, because these are the people you're talking to. You're talking to every generation. You're talking to every sex. You are talking to everyone who plays games when you go to these spaces that are popular, where people already are, and they're already gaming. To do that, you need a player-first mentality, a gamer-first mentality, a way to understand who it is I'm talking to. These platforms and places and spaces where people hang out and game, and sometimes don't game, just hang out. There's cultures, there's platforms, there's subcultures, there's consoles, there's PCs, there's mobile. Every single person has a different way of playing. And there are clans, cultures and subcultures that you need to understand. A player-first mentality is only going to help you win if you want to do something in one of these spaces. Why would a gamer stop playing a game and come and visit my brand activation? If you can't answer that question, then you're not going to do anything right. Okay, I'm going to round this up. Look, 4 things you need to know. The metaverse does not exist, right? Call it out where you see it and make sure you're asking the right questions about it when somebody's asking you, oh, we should do something in the metaverse. Where is it? Can you take me there? To see what? Hold my hand. We'll go there right now. Go on, off you go. Leave me. See where they take you. Nobody knows what it is. It doesn't exist. Metaverse activities do exist, and doing a brand activation or doing a brand partnership with a game where you're not really gaming, that could count as a metaverse activity. People have been doing it for decades. Massively online multiplayer games. That is where people have been socializing, hanging out in games for ages. Great metaverse activity. But if you told them that, they'd be like, dude, I'm just gaming. When people talk about the metaverse, they're talking about gaming. Like 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, 99.99% of the time, they're talking about gaming. And if they're not, then ask to see the numbers of the users, the daily active users of the space that they are talking about. Because if it's gaming, you're talking about tens of millions of players. If it's not gaming, you're looking at 978 daily active users. Where do you want to spend your money? What else can I tell you? Oh yeah, I may have mentioned this. The metaverse doesn't exist. And again, it's important, no matter what the latest opinion piece tells you, because trust me, there are loads out there, and it's so much unchallenged unchallenged dross. It makes me angry. I mean, the BBC wrote about it the other day, and I'm like, oh my God, you said Decentraland was popular. It's not popular. There's 978 daily active users. Please be a journalist properly. And finally, what if the client asks you for a metaverse strategy? Well, fine. Look, if you want to do something exciting with brands in games, then maybe just do that. Call that what it is, and we can all be friends. All right? Nice and clear. If you're visiting the metaverse, then you're visiting gamers, right? If you want to call it the metaverse, you're going to go and talk to people that are already in those spaces. People are signing up to play those games. Today, if you're going to do that, you're talking to gamers. You need to act like it and behave like it. Thank you very much for coming along to this replay. Any questions, comments, abuse, by all means, you can chuck them to my email address, james.whatley@diva.agency. I'm at WhatleyDude everywhere. I mean, it's my Twitter, it's my Instagram, it's my Medium, it's my PS, it's my PSN, it's my Xbox ID. Just come and chat to me. It's cool. I'll have a chat with you. I hope you've enjoyed the talk. There's some contact details as well down below for the agency. And thank you very much. Hopefully this has helped. And if not, well, I guess I'll see you on LinkedIn at some point soon. Ugh. Bye.